Started. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for spending some time with us this afternoon. Your attention, your focus, especially before a 3-day weekend. Our goal today is pretty simple. We'd like to help you guys move past that endless cycle of cut, copy, paste, and share some of our best workflow secrets with you. We're going to be doing this by showcasing some AI native tools, automations, and how to make them one connected system across your business. My name is Cody Stepp. I'm a second generation real estate technologist. I have spent the greater part of the last decade in just about every role in real estate technology, from customer support, sales, marketing, training. And now I get to run innovation at my own company, Workflow Secrets. Our product is an AI native system. We call it SAM, the Systems Accelerator Manager. It answers the question, gosh, what comes after the CRMs of the last 20 years? We'll revisit all of that a little bit more later. Today is actually not about that, but we do have a couple of ways for you guys to deep dive with us over SAM. We'll talk about that at the very end. But what we're going to be doing, what our hope for the event today is that you are going to get to learn some of the frameworks, some of the tools and concepts that Mark has helped share and implement across tens of thousands of real estate agents' businesses to help them find that measure of success that they've always been looking for. And it's our hope by the end of this event that you too can be a part of that. So to kick off the event, gosh, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce and turn the stage over to the man of the hour. He's the one I have the pleasure of working with, a true real estate legend and a technologist like no other. He's my father, he's my mentor, and he is the creator of two of the most used real estate CRMs over the last 3 decades. Mark?
All right. Thanks, Cody. I've had the ability to spend my lifetime, past 3 decades, actually working in technology in the real estate business and in helping you guys, the real estate agents, be able to do the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. It's been fun. It's been exciting. There were 2 other companies prior to this, and many of you may have come from those. And so this is number 3 times the charm, 3 times the excitement, and especially with AI the way it is, everybody is talking about it. So we want to go through this process of helping you guys get past an idea that we've seen happen a lot, which is that cut, copy, paste of things that's happening within AI. Everybody's using ChatGPT, and rightfully so. It's great. It is a good product for certain aspects of what you're doing, but there's so much more. And we want to make sure that each and every one of you are aware of what those types of things are. So as we get going, you do have the ability to chat up at the top. You can click on the little chat icon, ask questions. There's a Q&A section in there. You can ask different types of questions and stuff. We will touch on those at the end of the session, making sure that each of you get as much information answered as possible. But I think I'm going to just go ahead and kind of get into this. We've got several slides. I hate doing slides, but at the same time, there's a lot of information that we really need to share and make sure that you understand the concepts. So as we get through this, we will be providing this as a recording. So you guys will be able to come back and be able to see things. If something doesn't quite make sense, I want to make sure it's clarified. So definitely let us know. Cody's going to man the chat section, but at the end, we'll definitely talk about different aspects of this. So let me go ahead and get into some of the slides here. we are talking about AI tools and automations, and automations is what I've done for years. The thing that excites me the most is figuring out how can I take something that you do on a daily basis and you do it repetitively. How can I help automate that through the tools that I develop for you guys? And we've been coaching on lots of different ideas and thoughts and stuff, and we've really brought it all together within SAM, the Systems Accelerator Manager. But we want to really tie it together with what you may be currently doing, compare and contrast some of the things that you're currently doing and how that can be done differently in a better way so that you can actually be spending less time doing the things that that the cut, copy, paste requires you to do. It's not as efficient. And one of the things that Cody has brought up in the past was, Dad, there's lots of people out here talking about AI, and I've seen it as well, but they're not getting the full benefit of what AI can provide. And that's what we want to try to solve and help you understand and move towards for the future. So AI that actually runs your business is really what's important. ChatGPT is great at generating content. It's great if you want to, put in information about you, about your marketing pieces. Some people, whenever they first get in, they don't even know what they don't know. They don't know that you can do some customization of it. You can make it a little bit more personal, and you can go in and really build in the features of information about you and your business into it so that it at least generates good content. A lot of people just go in there and they'll start saying, hey, I need a business plan, or I need a marketing plan. And in doing that, which is great, I mean, it will give you that content. What it doesn't do is really personalize it to you and your business. So we want to make sure that as we're creating the content, we make it more personal to you in your business. So understand that I'm not totally against ChatGPT and AI. I'm just wanting to make sure that you guys understand the real benefits of this. We're going to spend the next hour and a half really kind of deep diving into some of the things that you can do, how you need to do it, and some of the changes that you really should be making inside your business to go through this. So if you think about it, and what you guys are customarily doing within ChatGPT is you'll take, you want to draft an email of some sort, and you go through and you tell ChatGPT what you want or how you want it or whatever. And maybe you've got a custom GPT, which is awesome, that actually creates that content, maybe marketing content or client follow-up content. All that type of stuff is great. It'll create it. But then you start thinking about, okay, now how do I use it? How do I implement that piece? Well, I've got to take that content, I've got to select it, I've got to highlight it. I then have to copy it and paste it into my email of some sort. Maybe making some kind of template, hopefully you are. But then you've got to go in there and you start merging in merge fields, or you do some customization of it, and you're still doing that extra work. You then have to find the contact. You then have to set reminders. You have to do all these things. And then at the very end of it, you're crossing your fingers. Oh, I hope this actually gets some results. Does that sound familiar to you guys? In the chat, if you would, put in the number 1 if that resonates with you guys. Are you guys understanding that piece? Are you actually living that right now? 1, 1, 1. All right. So what we're seeing is that as you are going through the process of using ChatGPT, which is great. Again, I want to make sure you understand I'm all for creating content. We want to make sure it's not AI slop also. So be careful there. But as you're doing this, you still have to do extra processes in order to use it. Lots of ones. Great, great, great. Thank you, guys. Want to make sure we're resonating there. So as we're going through this, we need to think about how can we make that process easier or better. We want to really identify what we can do. And the real problem is, here's the real problem. What you do in your daily lives as business owners, your individual contractors of hopes and dreams. You're spending time with people, building relationships with them. And yet all that data, all the people that's involved, all the follow-ups and stuff like that, ChatGPT does not know it. And if you're lucky enough maybe to have some application or software where you can copy and paste it in there, you're still copying and pasting it in there. You're doing that extra work. It's not integrated in a really fine-tuned connection between ChatGPT or other things. Maybe you're using Grok, or you're using Gemini, or you're using Claude. I mean, any of those, they're all the same style. They're AI, they're generating, but in most cases, they're not connected fully in what they're doing. Now, more and more, there's integrations that are bringing together things, but how it all fits together becomes a real challenge. Now, you can also use OpenClaw and some of the things that are out there to try to bring this together. But I've got a question for you. Are you a programmer or are you a real estate agent? Are you a marketer? I mean, the things that you have to do to make all this tie together is a challenge. And that's where we come in. We're actually your arm for bringing it all together. We want to help you do your business in a much more efficient manner so that you don't have to spend all the time that we spend in order to create the pieces. And what's fun is the community and stuff that we're actually building with this. So the real problem comes down to not just creating content, that's fine, but using the data that you've got, the people, the follow-ups, all the dates and times of things that's important in order to create good content that actually works with you. So two different mental mindsets that I want you to really comprehend here. You've got the Chat GPT, and again, this could be Chat GPT, it could be Gemini, it could be Claude, whatever it is. Basically, you're dealing in most cases, you're dealing with one-off prompts. You're going in there and you're prompting. You may have a good GPT piece where you've got some data, some documents. You're limited to the number of documents, but there's still documents in there that you can draw off of, but you have to constantly update those documents and be cautious that it's not old information as well. You could get generic output if you don't do those pieces. So maintaining that is extremely important. But it all comes down to you move the work. The work has to get done, but you're actually moving it. You're doing the process to bring it to fruition. You're actually letting AI generate content, but you're going through and you're doing it more yourself than what the automation could be doing. So it's really about ideas only and the content that's created from the ideas. Now, the other mindset of this is the SAM mindset, and it's called SAM, Systems Accelerator Manager. It's talking about your systems. How do you accelerate those and manage all the different integrations and things that need to come together, the data and all the pieces? How do you manage all that and bring it together? That's why it's called SAM. Not Sam Altman or any other names that are out there that are, AI folks. It's about bringing those integrations together. And we've done that in a very comprehensive way in which we can bring all your pieces together so that you can utilize them very, very efficiently, using them in recurring systems. I've preached for years about the idea of workflows, about setting up those processes. If you've got something that you've done more than once, it should be a process. It should be a workflow. Now, we've renamed those because of the way that way we put those together. We actually call them routines, things that you do on routine. I mean, you get up in the morning, you put your feet on the floor, you go, you brush your teeth, you get a cup of coffee, maybe you go on a walk every morning. Those are routines. You just kind of, you do them without even thinking about them. You're just going through the motion. And inside of SAM, we do a similar type of thing where we set up these workflows, we call them routines, that help guide you through your daily business. And once you get those set up the way you want, and there's a whole training type thing that I've done for years called design, build, run, repeat. You go through the process of designing what you want, you start building it, you run it, and then at the end of the run, you think, okay, what went right? What went wrong? Let's change this. Let's modify that. And you go through that aspect of creating your entire workflow business. The problem there is that what I've seen over time and time again, is that real estate agents and other business owners, not just real estate agents, but business owners don't always know what they want. So they have to really think about what is the process? What is the system? And some of you have it in your head. You just go every day, you go through and you do your marketing, or you do your listing process, your contract to close process, all these processes, you run it out of your mind. And what's the problem with that? The mind's great, but you can forget things. And then what happens? You go home, and whenever you're supposed to be spending time with your family, your mind starts wondering, oh man, did I do that? I forget. You get into this mindset of going back to work even while you're at home. And we want to get you out of that. So the SAM mindset is a matter of setting up these systems, and not only letting you set up the design of this, but we're going to show you how you can take the ideas that you've got, put it into SAM, and let SAM build it for you. Now we're talking about execution, things that you need to get into your business. You don't necessarily have to build yourself. And we're going to get into that. But what happens is instead of you moving the work, the system moves the work. It actually goes through and it does the things for you. So we'll get more into that as well. So what does it come down to? It really comes down to, hey, you don't need to be a prompt engineer. We taught that for at the very beginning, whenever chat first came out. I mean, it was just, it blew up. Everybody wanted ChatGPT and talking about prompt engineering. The thing is you guys are real estate agents. You're not prompt engineers. And this is really what got it all started. Cody was doing different types of training. He would invite me in there. I would talk about ideas of how to use AI in your business. And then it was like that deer in the headlight look. I don't know if you guys, here in Missouri, we're in Missouri, there's a lot of deer. And at night you're driving down the road, and all of a sudden you see this deer in the middle of the road, and you either slam on your brakes, or you see Santa's deer going off into the sky, because it's the way it is. But we were getting that same glazed eye look at some of the people that were going through this, and they just didn't quite understand how to use ChatGPT in its most efficient way. So Cody said, well, let me build this application, and he started doing that. Then he got to a point, it's like, well, I need to start tracking my clients. And I became available at a time in my life is like I should be settling down, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, Dad, how'd you like to build your dream CRM?" So, okay, that sounds fun. And we built it from the ground up with AI in mind. So a lot of information that you may not need to know necessarily, but it's something that has been a huge impact. The AI ideas have been a huge impact on us in the way we've developed this. But you don't need to be a prompt engineer like me. You need your system actually needs to have one place to put all the knowledge. And instead of using AI or ChatGPT and pasting all this stuff in, you need the system to actually know who is your client, what stage are they in, what's supposed to happen next, and let it guide you through that process. There's instead of going in and say, what should I do today? It should be telling you, hey, these are the things that you've got to do today. And surface that at the very beginning without having to worry about actually coming up with the ideas yourself. So that's kind of the mindset shift. The shift is connected systems. If a lead comes into your database, they fill out the form on your website or Zillow or wherever it is, and that lead comes into the system, what's that 30-second cause and effect process that answers the question between the time you get the lead and you can say, I've taken care of it. Now, it doesn't have to be I've taken care of it. It's been taken care of. You've got your lead form. It gets submitted. Your contact gets automatically imported. Now, in the past, we would use something like Zapier or some other built-in things where it would actually parse out that information. Hey, that's what AI does. Let AI do it. So you can actually have AI parse that information for you, automatically put it into your database. Whenever it puts it into the database, there are certain key dates that get filled in for different things, and it starts those routines. They're scheduled. It puts it in there. Now, all of a sudden, the emails go out, the SMS messages go out, the reminders for you to do certain things that's beyond the automation get put onto your calendar. Everything gets scheduled. And then your dashboard and your calendar lets you know, hey, this is what needs to be done. And there's no cut, copy, paste, no manual steps. You set it up one time through a connected system and it's done for you. Now you don't have to go home and think, did I get that done? You've brought it all together. You've built the system. Why is it that McDonald's, a multi-billion-dollar company, can run this multi-billion-dollar company with a bunch of high school students? It's because they've got systems. They've got certain ways that they do everything. And you go through, what is it, Burger Academy or something? I don't know what it is, but you go through this process of learning what it is that they do. It's a system. You need a system in your business to do a very similar thing, albeit different, because you do different things than create burgers, okay? So what are those systems? What are those things that you do? What are the things that keep you up at night? And if it keeps you up at night, we need to solve that. We need to go through that process. But we're not dealing with cut, copy, and paste of ChatGPT. The way I like to teach this, or way I like to share this, is what I call, and I've taught this for years, it's called my core strategies. It's an acronym for CORE, conversions. It's the process of taking strangers, complete strangers. They visit your website, they want information, they're going out, they're searching that information, they're coming to you in some form or fashion because of hopefully the content that you're providing is of relevance to what they want. They get that information, they're passing in their name and email or phone number information because they want what you've got. And then you turn those strangers into clients. That's the conversion process. From the time you create the lead magnets or whatever it is, you're putting it on your website, you're getting that lead, you nurture that lead until they sign for either a buyer's contract or a listing contract or agreement. Sorry, buyer's agreement or a listing agreement. So that's the C part of core. Every business has a core piece of their business. Every business that deals with people, you've got conversions. Then you go into your operations. Now, your operations as a real estate agent is broken up into different aspects. One of the aspects is from the time that they sign that listing agreement or that buyer's agreement, you've got marketing, you've got listing processes, you've got all kinds of due dates, things that you need to do, get the listing in MLS, create the listing descriptions and start marketing, all the marketing content. And that type of stuff right there is what most people are promoting the use of ChatGPT and Grok and Claude, and creating those content pieces. But typically it's a matter of creating the pieces, but then you have to go in and you have to implement. That becomes a real challenge. Some systems know about, maybe they know which CRM you use or what applications you use, and it can kind of create some of that content, but you're still having to cut, copy, paste. So think about that. Just keep that in your mental side. Now, once you go through the listing process, at some point, hopefully you're getting offers. If you've got the listing side, you got an offer. If you've got the buyer, you're submitting the offers. And then you start going through the contract to close process. All of that from the time they sign the listing agreement, buyer's agreement, all the way to closing day is your operations area, your day-to-day tasks, and hopefully you do it without chaos. Unfortunately, that's where most of the chaos actually happens, and you've got to have the systems in place to prevent that. Now, we have seen over many years things like, the 2008 crash and 2017. There's lots of different things that have happened in life to cause this up and down of your business. It's important to understand that ups and downs in business will happen because of external things like the 2007 crash and some of the other things that happens. But a lot of times it's self-inflicted. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you have really strong conversion stuff, you're constantly in there, you're doing the conversion piece, you're so busy doing that you don't have the bandwidth, tech term, I'm sorry, the time to do the operations. Well, then your operations start lagging. Well, if your operations start lagging, you drop dates, things happen, you get behind on certain things, contracts fall through, chaos happens. If you spend all your time in your operations and you don't have the bandwidth for the conversions, then 3-6 months down the road, once you've closed all your listings and closings and stuff, then you're back in the hole on your conversion side and you don't have leads coming in. So what you've got to do is instead of having this up and down, the hills and valleys of income that you guys inevitably have, because of the things that you're doing, you need systems in place to level those out. Let the system spend as much time on the conversion process and as much time on the operations process to level out your business so that it becomes consistent. And just like McDonald's, you've got people coming through the drive constantly and you're servicing them as quickly as possible and you're good, okay? Now, the problem is a lot of people will they treat it as a transaction, and once the transaction closed, then they forget it. They forget who they're serving. and then they go to the next person. And you've got to have the R in core, your retention. Who am I actually servicing? Who are the people that that have helped make me money? And as I do those things to close on the property, I bring in leads, I close them. Don't stop there. You need to go through and you need to continue on after the close, because that's where your money is down long term. Now, how many of you have sold a house to somebody, and 3 years down the road, you drive by that house and you see somebody else's sign in the yard? God, that's got to be like, a knife going through your heart. Because why? Well, you didn't keep up with them. That's why. You didn't keep that relationship going. And if you can keep that relationship going, that becomes your sign, not theirs. Why are you paying for all these leads when you've already got a ton of leads in your database? Let the AI and let the system help manage those and get those people going without having to spend the exorbitant amount of money that you're doing in the entire process of tracking that. So definitely we want to make sure that retention is in there. Now, I can have the greatest conversion process in the world. I can have the greatest operations, and I can be doing a lot of retention processes, but if I don't give them a good experience, then they don't remember you. So everything that you do, from the conversions, the operations, and retention, you want to wrap that in there with the experience. You want it to be human, not robotic. You want it to be personal, not cookie cutter. And what we've done is we've utilized what we build within SAM to help create that piece in there. So why do those all matter? Well, like I said, if you're only using AI for conversions, you drown in your operations. So you've got to deal with operations. If you automate your automations, but you don't give them a good experience, then you sound robotic, and that's no good, because they don't want to be robotic. They want that relationship. So the core approach is what's so important. Once you build the system for one thing, then you can build it for another. You build a system for your first-time home buyers, your move-up buyers. Each one of those are separate systems, bringing in different types of people, different demographics of people. And then once you've got them go through the process of the operations, everything's a little bit different, but everything is also the same. So a little bit of an oxymoron there, but anyway, you build it one time and then repeat it across all your different business aspects. Stop losing leads to friction. That is the number one thing that happens is as leads come in, you're doing all this stuff, you're letting things fall through the crack. You're causing the friction in many cases. That friction becomes frustration. That frustration turns into bad thought processes. I don't want to go too deep there, but you can get into a situation where you just come out with a bad relationship, and then nobody benefits. So definitely stop losing those leads to that. The whole idea here is speed to lead. How can I create the systems in order to capture, record, do that first touch, do the next step, the next touch, the next email, the next SMS, whatever, and it all happens automatically, and I'm not touching any of that cut, copy, paste stuff. I'm just letting it do it. Everything needs a home first. So, oh my goodness, as people come in, we've seen it time and time again, as people come to SAM and we show them what SAM's about, inevitably they've got names in spreadsheets, they've got names on notepads, they've got all kinds of things happening in different forms, and it's never in one central location. And then you're you're having to pick and remember, where did I put that piece of paper with that phone number on it? It needs to all have a home first. Once it has that home, then all the AI can look at all that stuff in one place to be able to create that content. And then you create that pipeline of visibility of your business with AI, and that beats your memory all the time. All the time. So definitely make sure that you're doing that. So get that information out of your spreadsheets, get it out of your different portals. A lot of people will have the different website portals, IDX, whatever, and it's like, well, I use these names in this place, and I need to send out my emails, but then that piece doesn't relate back to your main contact database, and then you lose control on what everything. It's not tied together, and it's important to have it all tied together. So these are the things that you need to deal with. We're trying to eliminate that chaos, and cut, copy, paste only takes you so far. And then you're just having to constantly go back and cut, copy, paste again and again and again to keep that data up to date. And no wonder you're not seeing results. It's because you're not seeing all that information in one spot, and AI can't control it in order to do the things that it needs to do. A buyer fills out the lead at 9 p.m. At 9:01, the contact gets put into your database. It triggers that source. It sets the calls for the next day, and you're ready. It's on your calendar. You're ready to go. And then it's like, oh, I need to make this call. Why not let AI create the talking points for what you need to talk about? It's all tied together, but we have to have that information all in one spot. So realistically, your calendar is the real CRM. Your people, your listings, everything is tied to the calendar. Whenever we created this, it's just like, okay, everything has to be tied together. And if you're using generic applications, it becomes a real challenge to deal with that. We are focused in on real estate CRMs, and how it all ties together. It's important to look at it that way. And if you start thinking, well, I can just dump all this stuff into Claude, yeah, you can. But then tomorrow, whenever everything's been updated, you got to throw it back into Claude again, or ChatGPT, or whatever you're using. So it becomes a real challenge just maintaining that over time. Once the information is in there, we tie everything to dates. And that's why I say the calendar is your CRM. We have closing dates. We've got listing dates. We've got birthdays, inspections. We got all kinds of dates. We call them important dates. If you go in and look at the database, and we're going to do that here in just a few minutes, looking at what is the important aspects of this contact, it's always dates. You got notes, yes, but everything comes down to triggers that happen based off of key elements or key things that happen to make things automatic. You need those dates. You have one calendar for everything that automates all your tasks and brings everything together. Then your dashboard is like your morning briefing. You can see everything in one spot. Now, does it have to be a dashboard? No, it doesn't. What if you're driving down and you say, well, what do I have on my calendar today? And your car replies back, oh, you've got this appointment at 1, you got that appointment at 3, all these things. Now you're away from the dashboard, but it's the same data. It's the same source of the data. It's just being delivered in a different way. So think about that. So one of the things that we've tried really, really hard about is taking what you guys have been learning with ChatGPT and implementing it within SAM, the two different thought processes. We kind of broke it down and said, okay, maybe in ChatGPT you say something like, write me a follow-up plan for a buyer. Now, that's so generic. I don't even want to begin to say how generic that is. But I want to use that generic thought just for a second. Yes, there's different types of buyers. Yes, there's different ways you want to do follow-up, and we need to address that. But let's just think about that one piece of it. What's the outcome? A description of the plan comes up. It maybe puts it in a pretty table or whatever. And maybe it writes the messages and creates those drafts for you, but that's where it stops with ChatGPT and Claude. You then have to cut, copy, paste, and put it in to whatever you're implementing it in, whatever database you're using, whatever email process you're using, all the templates, all that kind of stuff has to be entered through that content. So you're doing the work. You're actually having to take that content, create some great content, but you still have to go in and figure out, how do I implement it inside my system? The difference is with SAM is that you type in that same type of message, write me a follow-up plan for a buyer. Now, number one, because SAM knows what types of buyers you deal with, what types of things that you do, what is your niche, all these different things, it can take that standard statement and build out something more complex and complete for you without you having to be a prompt engineer and without you having to cut, copy, paste all that content into the system because it's already there. But the outcome is what is so different. SAM can create that automated draft, just like ChatGPT did, but it's a draft that you can approve. It can then build the entire plan, not just text it out, but it can build that entire plan. And then it can go through and build the actions inside of SAM. It can take that plan and actually implement it for you, building out the different steps, calculations of day one, I do this, day two, I do this, day three, I do this. And it does all the math, it does all the calculations, it puts in all the actions, and then it writes those messages. Now, maybe your client speaks Spanish and you wrote your message in English. Wouldn't it be nice to actually personalize it? Well, whenever you're putting in the contact information, you can say, hey, they speak Spanish. So whenever it gets sent, it takes the core message, transcribes it or translates it, and then sends the transcribed or the translation out in Spanish. And you didn't have to cut, copy, paste. It's just built in. Those types of things can be done because we're doing this within a system, and we're doing it within plain English. You're not having to learn prompt engineering or do all the things that you're needing to do. So you become the architect, not the builder. With ChatGPT doing it, you're not only the architect, but you're also the builder, because you got to take what information they are creating and put it in and implement it into whatever system you're doing. And that becomes a real challenge. Your database is your best lead source. All those past people that you've done business with. The statement here, I really love this statement. The most agents overinvest in new leads and underinvest in the database they already paid for. The people, if you get a lead and that lead is somebody that's already in your database, you've already paid for them. Why pay again if you're buying your leads? All of a sudden, you get this lead from a lead source because those people are looking and you didn't follow up with them in the first place to be able to bring them in. So you're paying multiple times for the same person's name because you're not following up good. Need to deal with that. Past clients are simply on a new timeline. You go through the process of contract to close. That closing date is kind of the end of that operation side, but then you kick into the retention side, and that closing date becomes the trigger for the next thing. What is that next thing? Well, you got your move-in anniversary information, my home anniversary, life events, birthdays, anniversaries, things like that that you just need to keep up with and continually build in there. One of the things that we've implemented within the system is to be able to use that contact record and say, hey, write a personal birthday message and utilize something within the personal details of the contact record. Well, it can take the standard template that you would normally do, which if you did this in ChatGPT, you'd have to copy the contact into ChatGPT. You'd have to copy your template in there and say, hey, write this, with something personal. And then you'd copy that and paste it into your email. Now you've just wasted 3 minutes of your life when it can be done in 3 seconds within a system. Re-engagement beats remarketing every time. Your dormant contacts in your CRM are cheaper than that new ad spend if you have a system. At the end of the day, you really need to see, hey, my 2025 closings shouldn't just be a spreadsheet memory. I shouldn't just be using that as old content for graphs and charts. I actually need to use it to send out personalized messages and content and stuff that goes along with it. Personal also beats AI slop. It's a personal pet peeve of mine that people will take a lot of the AI stuff, copy and paste it, and just use it as it is. Do not do that. Definitely read it, look through it, get that human in the loop. Even whenever we create it, if we're creating something, it goes into the system and it says, hey, you need to approve this. You need to read it. Make sure that it's what you really want. Now, it should be really close, if not identical to what you need because it is so personalized. But you definitely want to make sure that it's not that AI slop that a lot of people are putting out. So context beats prompts every time. You need to know who your people are. What is their communication preferences? What's your relationship history? What's the information that is in that database that makes them different from other people in your database, and utilize that as part of your marketing. And you can't do that within ChatGPT, Claude, or in the others if it's not in one place and constantly updated, constantly maintained. And the only way to constantly maintain it and stuff is using copy paste into ChatGPT. I know I'm harping on this, guys. It's just something that we want to alleviate and help you guys with. So hang in there. You need to know where they're at. What stage of the journey that they're on, either the buying or selling journey. What was their last interaction that you've done? What conversations have you had? What are all the different things that help create the content? It has to be known. And then whenever you're replying back, it's in your voice. It's in how do I talk, not necessarily the verbal voice. It's how do I talk? I've always talked about, never meet your heroes because you're always going to be disappointed. If you're putting out content on your website that is just AI generated content and it's not heartfelt, it's not you, whenever they come and they meet you, they shake your hand and they start communicating with you, they're going to see something different. The same type of thing happens with AI generated content. You want to make sure that it's you, that whenever they're sending it out, you're congruent, you're in the same likeness in the way you speak verbally as you do whenever you write the content. Approve, don't advocate. This comes back to, let AI draft it, but be sure to review it and then send it. Don't just send it the way it is. Control is a feature. We've built in controls within SAM so that you have to actually review the AI content. SAM Chat is not ChatGPT. It knows your contacts, it knows your calendar, and all this information is there to generate it. Once it generates it, it is still a draft, but it should be really close compared to what ChatGPT creates. So stop opening ChatGPT, use your contacts and calendar, let the AI work from there. So what we want to do is we want to help you build your first AI system. And every system inside of SAM or anywhere has these different parts. There's some kind of trigger. Now, like McDonald's, the trigger is you drive into the drive-through and they welcome you. As soon as you drive through, the little beeper beeps. That's the trigger. That's the thing that happens. Well, you guys have triggers as well. You've got form submissions. You've got dates that happen. You've got different stages that change. You've got inbound emails. Different things happen, and each one of those become triggers. We take those triggers, we take those instances of time, whatever it is, and there can be lots of things. We call them important dates because they are important because they're triggers. Those triggers get triggered. And once the trigger gets triggered, sounds like Tigger.
Tigger gets tiggered.
Yeah, something like that. Winnie the Pooh reference. Anyway, I digress. You get that trigger. And then what happens? Well, that trigger gets recorded, the contact, the sources, the statuses, the dates, all this stuff starts getting recorded into the system. And this is the part that ChatGPT can't do. Not on its own. You have to cut, copy, paste. Once that information is recorded, then an action can be done. You sending the messages, you're adding the call list. Is it an email? Is it an SMS? You're updating fields, you're adding things to your calendar. All these actions are things that you may be doing in your head right now, but you need to get it out of your head. Your assistant may have it in their head, but what happens if your assistant wants to go on vacation or has a baby and needs to be out for 6 weeks or longer? These are things that interrupt your business if you don't have systems in place. If you've got the systems in place, then it doesn't become a problem. At the point at which the action happens, you review it, you check your outbox, you check your dashboard, you're getting notified in some way, and you can approve things, and then it gets done. Most of the time it's automation. The automation actually kicks in and it does the process automatically. And then you repeat that whole design, build, run, repeat. This is the run part of that. The trigger, the record, the action, the review. That's the run part of design, build, run, repeat. You design it first, you build it. And in Sam's case, you actually let Sam build it for you. You're just being the architect of it. Let Sam build it for you, and then you run it, and then let it repeat. And you clone that process over and over all across every element of your core business, your conversions. And each one of those, your C for conversions is not just one thing, it's lots of things that you do. You're creating lead magnets, you're creating different elements of things, but each one of those have subcategories. First-time home buyer content, move-up buyer content, luxury home buyer content, move down. All these different things are pieces of core in different aspects in different ways. In the operations, you have your listing process and your buying process, but even in the listing process and buying process, there's subcategories of things. Am I doing leases versus purchases? Am I doing commercial versus personal? All the different aspects of it need to be held or need to be done differently. And on the retention part of this, how do you retain people if you send everybody the same thing every year? one of, and Cody's said this many times, it's like, if you're out there and you're spending your time sending content on the different holidays, how many people are you competing against their eyeballs, getting their attention with their eyeballs on your content when there's so many other people doing the exact same thing the exact same way?
You can check Monday. Monday's a holiday. Great opportunity to
look on, yeah, Cody's saying look on Monday is a holiday. How many times will people be sending out Memorial Day stuff? How many times are you competing against those other agents, the other people doing the marketing? Maybe it's not just agents.
Every brand you've ever interacted with.
Everything that you're doing, you're going to have to be competing against those eyeballs and attention. Why do it just on holidays? Let's build a repeatable system that gets them when they're not looking, gets them when they're not expecting it. That whole delight and excite process, and the way you excite them is not when they expect it. So think about that.
Nike does.
So what are we going to do? Well, we need to go through that whole process of figuring out what's the best place to start. And the best place to start, I think, is what is your biggest challenge? Where is your biggest challenge? Is it that new buyer lead follow-up? Are you not following up with your leads? It's amazing to me how many people pay for leads. They try calling them or sending one email and then they stop. That's not a system, guys. That's not a system. You have to go through, these days anyway, you have to go through 10, 15, 20 attempts at getting somebody's attention after they raise their hand sometimes before they will actually respond to you. So you need to think about, what is it that I can do? What are the things that I want to do to continually, and I hate the word drip. Don't get me even started about doing a drip campaign. It's not about dripping on people. It's about providing them with useful content that they get excited to look at your content for whatever it is that they're looking for. If they're first-time home buyers, they want first-time home buyer stuff. If they're luxury buyers, they don't want first-time home buyer stuff. Don't send them that. The system should be built so that it looks at their contact record and says, oh, these guys are luxury buyers. Let's send them luxury content. It could be the exact same routine, the exact same process, but because it has different fields of information, it can provide them with different content that's personalized to them. Think about that. How do you get their attention? You give them what they want, not what everybody that you're sending stuff to wants. So that's, a new lead follow-up. Or do you need to do something like post-showing follow-up? What are the things after I show property? I'm kind of I'm calling them, what are you thinking, whatever, but it's not a process. So maybe we need to work on just that one piece. Maybe we need to work on the closing to, 12-month nurture, post-closing stuff, the retention pieces. Maybe we need to work on the birthdays and home anniversary pieces. You need to come up and think about, what is it that is my most painful thing that I'm having to deal with right now? Whatever that is. What are you dropping the ball on right now? And let's figure out how to alleviate that through using systems and what we're doing. So one of the things that we're doing, and today really is about the why and the what. Why do we need this, and what do we need to do? the strategy and the mental model of getting into what it is we're teaching. Next week, May 28th, we're actually going to go through the how part of this. We'll build, and I'm still going to do some stuff here. Don't get me wrong, but we're going to deep dive on May 28th. We're going to build things together. We're going to go through live with Sam, and we're going to do things together. I don't really have a way to, answer all the questions and do all the things that we need to within Sam today, within the short time frame, but we can break it out and we can do things on the 28th and go through that process. So hang tight. We're going to send you, more information on that. Just be aware of that. On the 28th, what we'll do is actually implement this through a series of steps, setting it up, configuring it, figuring out your key dates. What are those objectives that you want to do? Those objectives is really what we want to think about on this part. What is the objective of whatever task that you're doing? If your task is new buyers or first-time home buyers, or whatever you want to call those, your objective may be give me a routine, or give me a follow-up sequence of things to do over the next month, where I'm sending an email, an SMS every other day to help them know the tips, tricks, and traps of first-time home ownership, the things that they need to know during the process, maybe some of the steps that it takes to buy a home so that they're not caught off guard. That is an objective. That's, in English terms, that's the objective. We can take that objective and we can put that into Sam, and we can actually implement that and build that in this. But we have to know what those objectives are. So you need to think about that as you go through the process. Think about, number one, what is it that I want to do? And then think a little deeper, and ChatGPT or Sam can help you through those. But you want to make sure that it's what you want. Don't just let it create stuff. We'll then take all those objectives and we'll make sure that you utilize those within the routines, understanding how to do that. But before we can create those routines, we need to make sure that you've got your contacts in place, your listings, your transactions. How do they relate? What are those key dates that go with those? What are the things that you need to do? And we're going to step you through it. Don't get scared here, guys. It's super, super simple. You just need to think about, how do I do my business right now, and forget about the details of how to do it. You just want to know what it is I want to do. Okay. We'll also go through, we will have a lunch break. We'll give you guys an hour to go eat and do stuff. I know spending a whole day, almost a whole day with us is time consuming. You've got business to do. You guys are real estate agents. You don't need to be spending a whole time, but this is working in your business or on your business. Sometimes you have to work in your business and get the things done to make money, obviously. But sometimes you need to stop and think about, how can I make business better, so that you can scale your business in a way that the two ways of scaling your business. Either you scale it in a way that you do less work to get the same amount of volume. Maybe you're happy with your volume where you're at today. You just don't want to work as hard to get that same volume. You don't want it to go down. By working less, normally that means volume is going to go down, but you want to put the systems in place that can help maintain that without having to do extra work. Or maybe you want to improve where you're at. You want to spend as much time as you're spending right now, but you want more business. That's scaling as well. And whenever we talk about scaling, whenever you're talking about websites and things like that, systems in place, having the system in place being scalable means I can handle one person or I can handle 1,000 people, and it doesn't take me any more time to do it. Could you use a, probably not 1,000. You guys would want 1,000. Could you get 30 more people into your pipeline and be really excited about it? Or if you get 30 people in your pipeline, are you then devastated because you don't know how you're going to handle them? If you're the second, you've got a problem, and you need to have the system in place to be able to scale your business and be able to utilize the system to create the business and continue the business without you having to be the worker part of that. And yeah, I mean, there's meetings you're going to have to attend. There's things that you do have to do, but you don't have to do all the mundane, repeatable things yourself. You can let the system do it. We'll talk about landing pages after lunch. We'll talk about landing pages. How do I get new leads? How do I provide them with information? Using assessments. Now, assessments are amazing. If you have not experienced an assessment, it's something that you really need to consider. Assessments do a couple of different things. Number one, it does bring in new leads. It brings in their names and information. The assessment itself helps provide them with a look at them on whatever it is that you're assessing them on. It physically gives them some additional information about whatever it is that you're doing the assessment on. Let's, for instance, if you're a first-time home buyer doing an assessment, maybe there's some questions in there on, do you have your financing in line? Are you pre-approved? Are you all these different things that are standardized questions, but they have standardized answers. And maybe one of the answers is, no, I don't have anything. I don't have any of my financing in place. Or maybe it is, I kind of know what I need, but I'm not real sure. And maybe a third option is, yeah, I've got everything in, I'm already pre-approved, all this kind of stuff. Now, of those three, okay, number one, if they're getting the assessment, they now know where they're at, and maybe they didn't know what they didn't know. The bigger issue is now you know where they're at, and you also know what kind of content you can provide them. If they are first-time home buyers and they don't have their financing in order, now you can start providing them with content about getting pre-approved. What are the best ways to get those loans? What do you not do before you get the loan? You don't go out there and buy a new car right before you go buy a house. These are things that sometimes first-time home buyers just don't know. You're the expert. You can create the assessment using AI. It'll actually help you create that, and then create those pieces. Then you can use AI to help create the content that goes along with each of the answers. And if they have everything in place, you don't have to, you maybe send one email, say, hey, congratulations on having your pre-approval, all this kind of stuff. Let's move on to the next thing. I see that you did this. Okay, whatever it is. And make sure that they're in line. So the assessments allow you to get information on your people, where it also gives them information. They're excited to get it because it's things that they didn't know. Very, very powerful, very powerful. Then we're going to spend 2 full hours. I know that sounds like a lot, but there's so much to routines and automations that this is like the crux. This is the holy grail of your business, just like McDonald's, billion-dollar companies doing $1 billion of business, do it with systems. And systems in place are workflows, routines, automations. These are the things that run your business. And if you get this right, you can spend less time doing the things that you're doing right now and not getting that business the way it is. After that, we will have that at 4 o'clock, it will end as far as the normal implementation day. We will have a VIP area, allowing you guys to, we're going to do additional things, additional Q&A, some one-on-one Q&A type things that is, using my 36 years of automation training and things I'll bring to the table, and I'm an open book at that point. So definitely something that you're going to want to attend. What you'll walk away with at that point is at least one working system built inside of SAM. You actually know what it does, how it does it, and ready for it to kick in at a moment's notice. Whenever it kicks in, you don't have to worry about it. You're not the one doing the action. You're not the one copying and pasting. You're letting it do the things that it needs to do. The pattern, we can use that same pattern to clone across everything that you do. That's part of your core pillars, your core strategy pieces. Now, what you do need in order to do that, though, is you need SAM. You can get a 14-day free trial. If you guys are already using SAM, amazing, great. We love you, and we do not take you for advantage. We want everybody to get a 14-day free trial. Cody is going to post a thing in the chat for you guys to be able to get that. If you have not gotten it, you'll also get emails. Just as a point of interest, the landing page that you guys use to register for this, it's the same landing page. We use the same product. We use it for ourselves. We don't use Salesforce. We don't use the other things that are out there. We use our own product. And if we need a feature in it, we build it. We put it in there. So you know that you're getting the things that you need in order to do your business. You say, well, Mark, oh man, I am not technical. If there was a most non-technical, a photo of the most non-technical person in the world, it's me. I can tell you it's not you. I've seen the no. The thing is your clients aren't technical. All you have to do is describe your outcomes. What is it that you want to build, and let Sam build it. You don't have to be technical. I already use ChatGPT. Great. It comes up with great ideas. It does the things, but then it stops there. You're not using Sam to let it actually do the execution of the AI for you. So that, putting the things into your calendar, putting the data into the database so that you can use it. So you're not having to deal with cut, copy, paste of ChatGPT. And again, I'm saying ChatGPT, but it doesn't matter. Grok, Claude, all the different things. Even with the integrations that are out there, you still have to deal with a lot of that. Oh, Mark, I already have a CRM. Yeah, does it do all the things that we've talked about so far? And I'm actually going to give you a quick overview of some of the AI implementation that we have built in. If it doesn't, I can guarantee it doesn't do a fraction of what we do. I can guarantee it. But will it sound robotic, Mark? I don't want to be robotic. I want it to sound like me. That's the experience pillar. That's where we make things sound like you, are you. You still have to approve those drafts. You still have to do some of the things. And you can create things that are fully automatic that don't need approval. That's possible. But there are times when you need to at least approve it or pre-approve it. Maybe it's something you approve it, a few days before it actually goes out. So some different objectives objections that maybe you guys might have. Certainly open to looking at different things. So really the bottom line comes down to ChatGPT versus SAM. What's the difference? Well, ChatGPT is for ideas. SAM is for execution. Your business has 4 different jobs or areas that you need to deal with, and we utilize all 4 of those within SAM. The system has 5 parts: the trigger, the record it, the action, the review, and then the repeat. And on May 28th, we're actually going to go through and build it. So if you think about it as a whole, Cody came up with this. He drew this out on the whiteboard and said, man, this is kind of how it all works together. Sam is the center, but he has access to the contacts and to your business details, to your properties and transactions, your dashboard, all the automations and your marketing pieces. It has all that. And all the marketing pieces have different pieces, the landing pages, the call list, the templates, all these pieces of things, they all come together and are part of the core of SAM. And then you've got the insights in your community. That's the SAM community. Every Thursday at 1:00 Central, we have what's office hours, and we go through and we talk about questions and answers and things that people have, or we go through and it's like, oh, hey, here are the newest features that are being built into SAM, and this is how you use them. What do you guys think? And then people will share information back and forth on what they're doing and how they're using it. The community is amazing. Being able to share ideas with other people, like-minded people that think about automation and think about improving their business without having to go through that cut, copy, paste aspect of it. So that whole piece kind of ties together in this image here, and I hope you guys realize how it all kind of aligns with each other. So real quickly, and I'm going to run through this as quickly as possible. There's 8 or 10 of these pieces that we really need to talk about. Whenever one of the biggest headaches is, if you're changing CRMs or whatever, is how do I get my data in there? How do I bring that information all in one place? I've got spreadsheets, I've got Post-it notes, I've got business cards, all these different things. You can use tools that we've got that use AI to bring these in. Yes, we can import CSV files. We can take images of business cards and import them. Maybe you've got an intake form with your handwriting on a piece of paper, all the information about clients, and it can import that information in. And not just import it into a note, it puts it into the fields of the database for you. All the context of the information is put in there and implemented in one place for your contacts. All your real estate records, all the information about properties and listings and stuff. You can create property listing details, descriptions and stuff, and put those into your MLS and create content very easily without having to do that cut, copy, paste. We do integrate with Gamma and Manus, so you can even create polished slide decks and stuff with the content that you create. And on the 28th, we'll do a little bit of coverage on that. We do have our own built-in SAM chat. We just released a new feature of that where it knows pretty much everything about itself. SAM is self-aware, not fully AGI. It's not general AGI type stuff. It does know about what it does. And as we're building things, just as a side note, as we're building things, I can say, hey, say I need to add this feature. It does this. It looks like this. I can create it, and not that it's fully built all by itself. I still use all my engineering skills to actually make it what it needs to be. It gets you 80% there. If you're using Claude to create things, it'll get you 80% there. but then you need somebody to take you the next 20% many times. So be really cautious on doing that. And then, if Claude changes something, it can change your entire app all of a sudden, and then you're really messed up. So leave that to us, and we take care of that for you. Sam can go into guide mode, so it'll tell you, all the different things. Just added voice in there, so it can read it to you. We're actually going to improve that a lot, but the very basics are in there. It does remember the different sessions as you're talking, and using text to speech, speech to text pieces in there. All the different knowledge and stuff that you've got in your business, you can incorporate into SAM so that it can use to generate content. Call lists, whenever you're creating your routines, inevitably you've got to make some phone calls. Well, it can put into the calendar when you need to make the call, what you need to talk about. It can do sentiment analysis. It can record the call, transcribe that call. It can help you with follow-up actions, like post-call actions that need to be completed in order to do the things that it needs to do. So all of those types of things are incorporated into it. Just like in ChatGPT, you can go in and create kind of a chat session to create content. You can do the same thing within SAM if you want. The thing is it knows about things about your business. It knows about what fields are in the database. And whenever it creates a template, it can incorporate those template merge fields without having to figure it out yourself. Those types of things are important because it's self-aware. It can handle those pieces for you, so you're not having to deal with all that. So the routines piece in there, this is like, there's several videos out there. If you go out to our YouTube channel or whatever, there's videos out there where it's like, I'm not sure I can make it any easier. I basically say, I don't know how I can make it any easier. You give me an objective, let Sam build it. Within 4 minutes, it can have the complete routine set up for you with all the content created, all the information built, all the actions in place. And if you try to do that within ChatGPT, it's just creating the outline and the content. It doesn't implement it. So definitely a hard stop on that. Landing pages, we talked about that, and assessments. You can let AI build those landing pages for you, the basics of what the landing page is, and then build in the content, how you want it, collect the fields, collect the information, let it do what it does best, and getting that information into your database. Newsletters, we just implemented a brand new newsletter content builder. It's like a studio thing where you build out the outline of a newsletter that you want to use every month or every week, or however often you send out your newsletter, and then building it in a way that each block of information knows what it's supposed to kind of create based off of a theme. Where you can create a theme, say, hey, I need a newsletter for the 4th of July coming up. Don't do just holiday stuff, but as an example. And then it can create a 4th of July Independence 250 year type of content for you, build out the images and do all the things that you need it to do. We do integrate with Gemini in order to do that piece. So you do need to have a Gemini account, but I think last month it was like $3 of AI usage on my Gemini. And I mean, it's like nothing, but that's something that you can integrate within SAM, and it just creates some amazing pieces and stuff. The integrations with Google Gemini, ChatGPT, custom GPTs. We've got 11 labs for voice stuff that's coming out. So a lot of important pieces there. Client portals, we're getting ready to release. Got a few different people doing some testing on that, being able to send information back and forth to your clients. Some AI receptionist type things that you can put on your website, some outbound calling pieces, actually integrations with Claude is coming. So we've got some roadmap items on the list there of things that's coming up. So it's really about, finding the right features for what you want. And it's not just creating content. It's implementing it into a system, implementing that piece in there. So definitely take a look at that. So what I need you guys to do is think about registering for the May 28th. We've got a special deal on that. I'll share that with you. Today was really about the why and the what. The how do we build it, and building it together is what we're going to do as a bigger thing on the session there. You can register for the event, $67 for getting to the event. We do have some special things. If you're a current user of SAM, if you've got a subscription, you should have already received a golden ticket. And inside that golden ticket, it's your ticket to come and spend the day with us. You'll also get the recordings and do all the stuff with us. If you don't have SAM, if you don't have a subscription, $67. I mean, it's price of a nice dinner. And well, in Missouri, in Southwest Missouri, it's a price of a good dinner. Other places that may not be. Maybe that's a table for one. I don't know. But if you guys want to order SAM today, there's a button on there, order SAM now. We'll actually let you attend the 28th for free. Your own golden ticket. And with that golden ticket, they also get an invite. Another? Is that what?
Yeah, they get
a companion type ticket.
Yeah.
So those types of things are available. The thing is you still have to have SAM for the 28th. You have to have it installed for you to do the things that we're going to do. So at least get the demo. If nothing else, if you're going to attend on the 28th, at least get the demo and kind of jump around and see what all it has to do. All the different things that I just showed you are built in. It's built into the system. So you definitely need to go through that. But you can click on either of the buttons at the top, register for the 28th for $67, or if you're a single user, it's like $89 or $87 for a single, $89 for a single user if you're an individual agent, and you get the app plus you get to attend. It's super simple. So definitely hop in there and order that and go through the pieces there. What I want to do is open this up. Cody, have you been doing answering questions? Looks like we've been doing all kinds of answering of questions and stuff. I want to make sure that that I'm answering questions and stuff. I do want to quickly share just a quick look at SAM and some of the one aspect of what we're going to really cover. So let me switch over real quick here. I'm going to share my other screen.
This will give them some time if they'd like to visit the order form and register to attend the event. They can.
So right now, if you guys will go out, register right now, register for the event, put in your information and stuff. I'll keep kind of going through this process of showing you around a little bit, but make sure that you sign up, and you can sign up either way, but you will not be sorry about what we've got to offer. I'm going to give you as much as I can to make you guys successful. For those that don't know me, I've told this story many times, and it really encapsulates who I am and what I've done over the past 36 years. Prior to doing all of the CRM and stuff for real estate agents, I was in doing other a programmer engineer in a different industry, in insurance. But I knew that I wanted to do something that dealt with images because I just, at that time, this is like 1991, I think it was, 1990, 91. I had just gotten a brand new Canon Zapshot camera. Now, for those old timers out there, you probably recognize that name, but it was it was kind of billed off as being a digital video recorder, but it did digital stills. So you could store 50 images on this little hard floppy disk, a 2.5-inch floppy disk. And I was speaking at an event. And at that event, I'm going to stop sharing just for a second here. At that event, at the end of it, I said, okay, anybody that knows anything about real estate, come to me. I'm wanting to work on a new project. And I was fortunate enough to have Sherman Mitchell, a local dentist in the area, come up to me and say, hey, Mark, I'm a dentist, but my wife is one of the top agents in the Midwest region. She's with Coldwell Banker. In Coldwell Banker, she was top. And you need to meet with her. So we met, we started talking, we started sharing. We got along really well, and that was our first company. We started building everything. The kids, we would go to Springfield, and it's like 30 minutes away, and spend the weekends doing development, all kinds of fun stuff. And there was one night that I asked Peggy, I said, Peggy, why is it that you were willing to share all your trade secrets, all your information with me? Why was that? She goes, Mark, you got to understand something. Prior to being a real estate agent, I was in nursing, and we had just started a new family. They had a new daughter. And she said, with the challenges with scheduling and stuff on nursing, it just was not great for a new family. So she said, so there was a lady that helped us buy this house, and it really come down to, if that lady could make a penny, I could be a millionaire, is what she said. She said that she didn't know what she was doing or anything. Peggy said, I think I want to go into real estate so that I have control of my time. Okay. There's laugh number one. You guys know that in real estate, you don't have the time in many cases. So she goes, fast forward a few years, I figured out that, and she was working a big subdivision. She was working with some builders and doing really good business, but she was spending hours and hours, long weekends, long days, away from the family, and counter to what she wanted to be able to do in the real estate business that she thought she wanted. And she goes, there was one night I had been out late. I came in, Amber, her daughter, was supposed to be in bed. She went in late in the evening and was going to tuck Amber in bed, and Amber wasn't in bed. Said, well, that's weird. So she went down into the family room. They had big screen TV with a sheet and big projector type thing at the time, thinking that maybe Amber was down there, and Amber wasn't there. Went through each of the different rooms. Her heart starts pounding. Where is Amber? She's frightened about not knowing how to get to Amber, where she was at. And she said, eventually I found myself in my own bedroom, her and Sherman's, and there was Amber's legs sticking out of the closet. Peggy goes down, scoops her up real quick. Luckily, she was just asleep, scared to death. She goes, Amber, you scared me to death. Why are you in my closet? She goes, Mommy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I was missing you, so I came in to smell the perfume on your clothes. And when she told me that, when we'd just had our first child, and it's just like, I don't want that for us, but I certainly don't want that for other people. And unfortunately, I've heard similar, not exact, but similar types of stories about other agents being so wrapped up in trying to help people with what could be the biggest investment of their life, their house, buying or selling a home, wrapped up in all the business aspects of it, that it sacrifices time with the families that they love. And it was at that moment that it's like, I can make a difference. I understand systems. I can create products that help real estate agents be more productive. And, took that dagger out of my heart and started using it as, a tool for creating systems for real estate agents. And since then, 36 years, we've helped tens of thousands of real estate agents throughout the United States, Canada, and 13 countries. I've now, joined forces with Cody, and we've started a new aspect of what we're doing, taking all the ideas and thoughts. And yeah, there's a lot of old technology, old things that we don't want to even go down, alleviate that. But the technology that we have in our hands today with AI and the capabilities that it has to help surface the contacts, surface the information you need to be more productive, to create the systems that you need in order to be more productive, so that you can spend the time, unlike Peggy, with your friends and your families and not worry about the things that got left undone. That's what it's about. And so what I've got to do to share today is all about that. Because of that one experience 36 years ago, it really kind of comes down to what we're doing. So going back to the system here, if you've not registered, be sure to click on the link to register. If you want to go ahead and order Sam, we'll send you the golden ticket. You'll be in there just a few dollars more, and you actually get the system. Once it's in place, you're ready to go, and you don't have to do anything else through the system. So whenever you first come into SAM, it does give you a dashboard of all the different things. This is like the information neural nets of all the different things that you need to deal with. Now, this is all demo data, so don't worry. But if you've got a team, you can see who's doing what, and if they're not doing things, you can surface those. Your commissions information. We do have some built-in pieces for compliance and making sure documents are done. All kinds of different things for keeping track of your calendar, what needs to be done today, or what's coming up in the few days, what's past due. If you need to do it, you can get to it real quick. Your inbox, what are the emails I need to deal with, contacts that have come in, all the different things that you need. Now, you can turn on or off any of this that you want. If this looks overwhelming to you, you can turn off everything but one if you want, and go through there. This is one of those assessments. It tells you, how many people answered the assessment, what percentages they are, how can I help them the most, and then be able to create content off of those, each one of those elements. Who do I need to call? Who have I not called? Those pieces in there. So all of your different aspects of your business is, one page. You can get to everything very quickly and do stuff. The generations area allows you to create that content, the lead magnets, the information that maybe you're currently using ChatGPT for. You can create it inside of SAM. The thing about with it doing in here is it saves it within SAM, and SAM then can use that content to help guide and inform your people with information as well. It doesn't just get lost in a session of ChatGPT. The content can be utilized in different ways. We've got different types of quests that you can set up to help you go through creating your brand voice, your social media strategies, all that kind of stuff, which can be done there. You create the quest for that. You can pull up your old saved elements. do things with them. You can create integrations with things and be able to have images. We do have some built-in pieces so that it can create images with the content for thumbnails and stuff. So lots of generation stuff that you're used to within the system of ChatGPT or Grok or any of those, but it's actually built in, so you can do some of that. The contacts, being able to keep track of all your contacts and people, quick access to people. You can go in and see more details on any of them, find out, you know, who their connections are, spouses and stuff, notes, categorization, all the different aspects of this. Again, if you don't want to see all this, you can turn things on or off. Very customizable to remove things that you don't want. You also have the ability to bring in information. You can import from lots of different aspects, CSVs, business cards, intake forms, using AI to do all this, including the ability to help eliminate some of the duplicates and stuff that maybe happen inside of that. Keeping track of all your properties, your listings, your transactions, keeping all that into the system, being able to see what property details you have on things, creating image showcases and stuff. All the terminology can be AI generated, letting AI actually use the photo manager and it create all the descriptions of things for you. And it's all built into the system all in once. Your calendar, your inbox, your outbox, your call list. Hey, you know, I've got to make a phone call to somebody in the database. What are the talking points that I need to talk about? Well, it goes out to the system and it looks at that contact record and says, oh, well, you last talked about this, that, or the other thing. It starts going in there. Actually, on this one here, Cody's record is currently set up for a Spanish speaking, or actually bonjour. So I think that's probably French. Yeah. So if I was to go to the record here and take a look at this, yeah, it's set up for French. So it can actually do the conversation in the language that you've specified, all your demographics and stuff that you may want. But all this information is surfaced within the system so that it knows how to respond and do things with you. Once you make that call, then there's actions that you can do post call. We'll go through all of this, but you know, definitely stuff that you can utilize right away within your business to help make things so much quicker and easier to do within your business. Being able to set up different types of newsletters and content that very easily gets created. So all your newsletter elements are built for you. I'm not sure how I can make it any easier. What really comes down to is the routines, the ability to say, okay, I need to create a system. And in that system, maybe I want to do something. Now I'm going to do this. I'm not going to build a big one, but I want to at least show you the process. So we come in here, I'm going to say a new routine. I'm just going to create a blank routine. I'm just going to start from scratch real quick. Let's say, for instance, I want to do a first-time home buyer follow-up system. So within that, maybe whenever I get a new lead, the new lead date gets filled in, this triggers automatically or something. So I can come up here and say, let Sam build it. And I can say, you know, first time home buyer follow-up system. I type in what I want. I can use a microphone just to say it. If you want to speak it, you can speak it. If you want Sam to be able to enhance it, knowing some of the information it knows about you, you can let Sam actually build it out for you and do more pieces. But maybe I'm going to cut this down just a little bit and say, let's do 5 days of with emails that help with tips, tricks, and traps of home ownership. Okay, so just 5 days of emails is all I want. I want to do this, just make it very, very simple. I want to say generate. Now, you could have gone into ChatGPT and typed that exact same thing. Maybe you cut, copy, paste, or whatever, and it creates some kind of table for you, or series of stuff. And it's going to be something like this: day 1, the welcome; day 2, first time homebuyer tips. Whatever. It's like that right there is about as far as you're going to get with ChatGPT or Grok or whatever. Okay, but here's where the big difference is. I can come down here and say approve and build, and then now at this point, it's going through, it's generating each one of those routine tasks into the routine. It's doing all the calculations. And then it says, oh, they want an email, so let's build the content. So it can go through and it can build the content in your own voice. I could have said build it in Spanish if I wanted to, or build it in French. If you're dealing with a certain type of niche that deals with that. But then it builds it out. Now, at this point, this is all built for me already. It's done the math. 1 day after, 2 days after, 3 days after. So it's built all that. You'll see that it has all the actions already built in there. If I go in and dive deeper, you can see that it's done all the figuring, the calculations. Send the welcome email. I can go in, welcome to the home buying journey. It's gone ahead and built it in with the merge fields. It has, put in all the information that I would want. It personalizes it and builds it. Now, I could then come in here and say, add an additional objective to this, so that whenever the system builds that template and merges the template, it also customizes it before it goes out to be more specific to that particular person. So it becomes very focused in on that one person's needs, not the entire system. So even though I create templates for it, the templates can be augmented before they go out. So crazy, crazy stuff. But now, how long would it have taken you to take what ChatGPT did, first copying and pasting all that stuff in there to get what you wanted, and then copying and pasting elements, creating the messages, putting in the merge fields, all that kind of stuff? It took me less than a minute to go through and create that entire thing. That's the power of AI. That's the power of what Sam can do with AI. It's no longer just creating content, it's creating the systems for you. So that's just a quick overview of what that does. We've got so many more things that we can do. You can take that one piece right there, figure out, going back to our list of what's your biggest pain point. What's your biggest pain point? It's this. And explain to ChatGPT how you want to solve that pain point. You architect it by giving it, you can either speak it or you can type it, you can paste in something if you want. How do you want it? And then let the AI build it out for you. If you want a 1 year, contact them every other day for 1 year, it'll go through and build it for you. How long would that take you to do? And it would take more than a minute or two for Sam, but it would do it the entire process for you, without having to manually do any kind of cut, copy, paste through that process. So, guys,
Mark, we do have some questions.
Okay.
If you'll go to the chat, there is on the private for your specific, I tried to gather and collect them, gave you a little answer tip so that you can have somewhere to start.
Okay, so I need to talk to my spouse about a subscription, but want to attend the event. Can I take the weekend to decide if I want the event ticket? So yes, I mean, if you guys want to, the $67 piece, if you subscribe today and you get the $67, we're throwing in the VIP. You get that VIP piece included with the $67 if you sign up today. If you wait until later, it's another $97 to be part of that VIP. I know it seems like a lot, but we're going to cover a lot in that 2-hour period, and it'll be well worth it even at $97. But if you sign up today for the $67, you get that included. If you go ahead and get the subscription to SAM, it will send you the golden ticket, plus you can do the VIP. You can do it either way, but if you don't subscribe, you will lose that VIP if you don't do the VIP before the end of the session. Does that make sense? Question: do we have all of these other paid apps to make SAM work and get good stuff about it? So we do include some OpenAI connectivity. However, if you have your own integrations with OpenAI, you can choose higher models. If you have Gemini, you can integrate the Gemini and do better things, more things. So it does help to have some of the integrations, but it's not necessary for everything. But again, SAM, the whole purpose of SAM is Systems Manager, Systems Accelerator Manager. We're accelerating your management of your systems, and we're bringing all these things together. So, we're great at what we do, but there are products out there like OpenAI, ChatGPT, stuff like that, that they have great pieces, and we can integrate them and bring them together and make something even better than, it's better than just individuals. What's that saying?
So the goal there, Mariah was asking, can she use SAM just off the shelf? Is that the
if you just want to use SAM off the shelf, you can certainly do that. You don't need all the other integrations, but there are things that will improve it or make it better, and things, it really doesn't cost that much more for some of the pieces. If you have ChatGPT, you're paying what, $25 a month or something like that, maybe. That is for ChatGPT. OpenAI has an integration, and you can do like a per usage, and it's pennies, maybe a few dollars a month, a couple dollars. It's not expensive.
I will say this, Mark Wright, what a gem, paid such a high compliment in regards to this. He said, I haven't had to use any of the extra subscriptions yet to get the advantages of AI and SAM. Absolutely love the AI import of campaigns, worth a year of subscription and time savings just there.
Nice.
Uploading PDFs of 3-year email text campaigns, did 98% of it in 5 minutes.
Wow. Nice. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Glad that, the thing is I'm here to help you guys. While I love being able to provide this, this is fun for me. This is not a job. Cody said, do you want to build your dream system? It's like, oh man, this sounds like fun. And some people knit, some people, ride motorcycles, some people, all the different hobbies. This is my hobby. And while I don't treat it like a hobby, I love doing what I do, and I'm hoping that shows through. And people like Mark Wright, who give reviews like that, just it brings joy to my heart. So thank you for that. I had to leave early watching the replay. Can I still get the golden ticket offer if I subscribe? Yes, if you order SAM, you'll be able to. After the live piece, you can still get you can still attend the 28th for $67. You would lose the VIP. That'll be an upsell. So the goal here is to get you guys to sign up and make sure that you use it. If you're already a member, you want to sign up for SAM right now, you get that golden ticket plus companion. So I secure my ticket, but I don't see the VIP piece. How do I get that? when you secure your ticket, while we are live, the VIP is included, and we will send that VIP access to you shortly. So hang tight on that. Did I get all of them? I think I did.
I believe so.
All right. Still got a few more people in there. Any other questions? Great questions, guys. I appreciate everything. Okay. Great. Yeah, Maria, I haven't had to use any of the extra subscribed services yet. These to get these advantages. Absolutely love the AI import of campaigns. If you think about how long I've been doing this, I'm going to say that has been the biggest challenge that most real estate agents have, is building those routines, the workflows. In a previous life, we called them workflows. I called them, before that was the action plans. But what happens is, you guys are great at selling houses. You're not always great about, some people are, but not always great about coming up with new ideas of things. It's like, I know what I do and I do it great, but how can I make things better? The whole idea of creating an experience with your people can be done in the system, and you can just add in things here and there. But I've had people that have said, well, we took the entire weekend and we came up and we built out our systems, and it took a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to build those out in the other companies that I've worked with. And that has been one of the biggest headaches, is trying to build out and maintain those huge workflows. I've seen workflows that are 170, 180 steps for a contract to close process. Anything and everything that could go wrong, has gone wrong, or whatever, is part of that process. But here's the problem. How do you maintain a workflow of 180 activities? Something that you need to tweak or whatever, sometimes finding that is hard. We do that by breaking that 180 items up into smaller key, routine key dates. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's how we're doing it within SAM. So those routine pieces are golden whenever you do that. So guys, we're at 3 o'clock. It's quitting time. So
I'll point you towards one more.
You want
high praise from our community. Our friend Jose. He said, I've been working with Mark since 2000, 26 years ago. My gosh. You guys went from DOS to Windows to cloud and now AI.
Yeah. Jose and I go back a long ways. That's what's been so fun about doing this project, is a lot of my old students and clients and stuff, they know what I do, and they have been instrumental in bringing things together and giving me feedback and input. But I love being able to surface this. I mean, how many times do you go to Amazon and you see people that give you a 1-star, 2-star? All the people that I deal with are top-notch agents, and they give great service to their customers, and I want to give great service to them, and that's what's important to me. And with Jose, I've been working with Mark since 2000, 26 years ago. We went from DOS, disk operating system. That was a long time ago, Jose, to Windows, to cloud, and now AI. So thank you so much, guys. It's been great. I'm hoping that you understand the idea of what we're doing. We're not just copying and pasting things. We're taking the ideas, the different types of things that you want to create, and we're letting AI create it, but we're letting SAM build it for you and actually build it in there. So
Yeah.
Cody, thanks for answering all the questions.
Well, of course. Yeah. Thanks for you honestly did the brunt of this, with these events. I'm a marketing guy. I have a master's in marketing, but the business stuff is a lot easier for me to run. And it's kind of fun just to like let you share, let you teach, let you train. And I took notes. We didn't have so many questions that I couldn't. So I actually picked up a couple nuggets. I'm excited for the 28th just to learn more from you. Like you said, we actually use SAM inside this business. And that comes back to, like I shared at the beginning, I've spent my whole professional career in real estate technology. And I don't know if you remember this, it apparently got patterned deep into my subconscious. But at one point you said, if the system can't do something, let me know and I will make it do that. And so I've worked really hard to stress test SAM and really make it a system that works for us. And in doing so, I know that it will work for you guys because it's custom built for real estate. And I just pretend that I don't see the properties database, and it works just great for me. But with that said, Mark, thank you so much for investing so much of your time, sharing with everyone. Thank you guys so very much for spending time with us and spending some time right before your 3-day weekend. If you get to have a 3-day weekend, not all of us do, please be safe, have some fun. It's Memorial Day weekend here in the States. We owe those veterans a great price. And
that's Veterans Day.
Well,
the ones that
Memorial Day, the ones who passed.
Yeah.
We are a military family here. So do honor those veterans who either have passed or who paid the ultimate price. That's what that day is, but have some fun with it. And, I will make one more call to action. I'm just kind of running the clock to give everyone the opportunity to register for the 28th event, or just go ahead and click Order SAM now. Grab that golden ticket, and you'll get access to that. You'll get a I can't think of what I called those anymore. The golden ticket comes with a companion pass, something like that. But we are going to have a lot of fun. I don't know, Mark, if you actually shared this, but basically we offer something called a Copilot Lite. Copilot is the one-on-one coaching program that our friends can book in, spend time with our team. That is typically done over the course of 8 weeks. And a Copilot Lite takes all of that, shrinks it down into 2 weeks, which is wild. And I have somehow talked you into taking a Copilot Lite and shrinking it down into 1 day. So that is going to be what we are covering on the 28th. We are going to be really pouring into your business. We're going to let you learn and use and build and grow inside of SAM. We're going to, if nothing else, prove to you that SAM is the system that you need. And at the end of it, you're going to walk away with everything you need. You could press play on those systems and they will be running for you. And I'm really excited to be able to offer that to these agents. But I'm going to just keep kind of kicking the can unless otherwise. But Mark, let's go ahead and let's end it here. Everyone, thank you for attending today, and we will see you guys so very soon.
Bye, everyone.
We'll
Have a great one. Thank you.